Is the total lack of EV public charging infrastructure holding you back from buying your first EV? Is the pathetic range of EVs on a full battery making you uncertain whether an EV is even right for you? The results of any poll can be heavily influenced by the way you ask the questions, and that makes me wonder what questions are being asked. A YouGov poll published in October last year typifies this. I'm Dave, this is Dave Takes It On. Well, first I'm going to quote Jim Farley, he's the CEO of Ford. And this was just after he undertook a 1,100-mile cross-country road trip in an EV, when he said, "Customers are very uneducated," and followed that up with, "We have to do a better job." Now, I wholeheartedly agree. Unfortunately, where there is a lack of knowledge, people are open to whatever the media tells them. If you've never driven an EV and charged it in a public charger, how do you know if they have far too many or far too few? If you use your petrol car only for commuting 20 miles a day, and the longest trip you ever take in a year is 40 miles to the local airport, why would a range of 150 miles be of any concern to you? Well, the answer all too often is they just listen to the media and read surveys like this YouGov one. List your reasons not to purchase an EV. It's already negative. The plural is used here. Reasons tells you that they will have more than one. Then number one does not state cost. It states EVs are dearer. And number two states there are not enough public chargers. These are negative statements. Is that a concern? Well, let's take a quick run through the top 5 and bring our wavering viewers up to date. Number 1, initial cost is higher. Is it? It can be, but that's obviously not important to you when you buy your petrol cars. See, the best-selling petrol car or hybrid in the UK is the Ford Puma, and the best-selling variant of that is the mild hybrid ST line. Okay, so far, but the cheapest variant on offer is the titanium, and that's £26,580, which is about £3,000 cheaper. Yet most people choose the ST line for the, here quote here, more dynamic looks, rear spoiler, sports seats, and better alloy wheels, with a package that offers a premium feel. Now, without adding any extras, that premium feel comes out at £29,280. Ford obviously make an EV version, the Gen E, and that's priced at £29,995. So it's dearer, but wait a minute, £715 dearer, is that it? Well, let's see which variants are available in the EV and what each offers. I've selected the very bottom price model, the Select, and wow, even this entry level comes with better 18-inch alloy wheels as standard. Oh, hang on. And it's got ambient cabin lighting as standard and LED projector headlamps with auto high beam and wireless charging pad. Rear view camera, parking sensors, speed limiters, automatic lane keeping assist. All of this is standard in the most basic, lowest price variant. So, must be slower then. No, the hybrid is 0 to 60, 9.8 seconds. The Gen E, nearly 3 seconds quicker at 8 seconds dead. But it keeps getting better. With the Gen E, you're offered a free home charger, if you can charge at home, and you'll be offered up to 10,000 miles charging credit, meaning you can charge for totally free for the first year, maybe 2. Well, there's got to be a catch, because all of this for just £715 extra. Hang on, but a look at the standard features shows they are at a very much higher standard or quality. The alloy wheels on the hybrid are 17-inch black painted. On the Gen E, they're 18-inch, not painted. Gen E also offers a B&O premium sound system. What is going on? The EV version, the Gen E, is a few £100 dearer, but the sound system alone is worth far more than that. But hold on a minute. To get the driver assist features that come as standard on the absolutely bog standard Gen E, you need the driver assistance package on the hybrid. It's £950. So suddenly the petrol ST line is with a worse spec is now dearer. That's a turner for the books. The EV version is actually cheaper. But, by the way, it's not just Ford. Vauxhall offers the Frontera now as either a hybrid or a full EV, and both are sold at exactly the same price, $23,995. Hang on, that's much cheaper than the Puma. Well, or how about the MGS5 at 28,495? Again, very much bigger. It's a full family car packed with features the Puma lacks. That one's cheaper. Well, the Ford website offers a great running cost calculator and quote the hybrid as £99 a month to include fuel and road tax. Jenny is quoted at £44.39 a month. That's less than half price. Strange. Well, the EV is actually far cheaper if you added all the extras it has included in the standard price of the most basic model. And it will cost you half as much to run if you ignore the first 1 or 2 years of EV charging that are totally free. I understand why Jim Farley said we have very uneducated customers. The reality is that if you choose the most popular variant of the hybrid and the cheapest possible variant of the EV, the Gen E, then the Gen E will cost you less to buy, cost you less to run, and you get far more. If you actually upgrade the engine on the hybrid to try to match the performance with the Gen E, it's going to work out much dearer, and it's still going to be slower, 8.8 seconds versus 8. So EVs are not dearer after all. They can be, but they're packed with features. They should reword that first question. Well, let's move on. There are not enough charging stations. And once again, they present the version of a negative fact. There aren't enough, and ask if it's important to you. Of course it is if they ask it like that. But using the Ford Puma once again, they offer a free home charger, 10,000 miles credit. Yeah, I know a third of you can't charge at home, but that means about 2/3 of you can. So many of the buyers of the hybrid versions must also be able to charge at home. We can argue over it's half, 2/3, 4/5, whatever the figure. It matters not. A good many people can. If you use the car purely for commuting and the furthest you drive is 100 miles at the weekend, you'll almost certainly take advantage of the free charger and 10,000 mile credit, and you'll actually never use a public charger ever. It's always there if you need it. But apart from maybe 1 or 2 longer trips throughout the year, it's always going to be charged at home. Many of my viewers, they comment all the time about owning an EV for many, many years, never actually got round to using it as a public charger. But again, the question is biased and totally out of date. At the end of May 2025, there were 40,000 charging locations, offering a total of 115,241 public chargers. That's excluding workplace and home chargers. We only have about 8,000 petrol stations, each with an average of 10 pumps, making 80,000 petrol or diesel pumps. But unlike petrol stations that are closing down steadily, EV chargers are being added all the time. Each month sees about another 1,000 or 1,500 new ones. And before anyone complains about queues, the official government data shows that's actually not happening. 62% of charging sessions take place at an ultra-rapid charger and 38% at a fast charger. So for the fast chargers, they have just 1 session per day, and that will occupy that charger for about 3 hours. For the ultra-rapids, they're used about 4 times a day, and that occupies them much shorter each time, but again, a total of about 3 hours a day. In other words, if you need a public charger today, there is more chance of finding one closer than your nearest petrol station, and a very, very high chance, in excess of 80%, it's not going to be occupied. Yeah, of course, there can be brief times when they get queues at certain times, but you get them on petrol stations as well. Strange when you start getting educated how most of those questions are now starting to look very biased. I agree, 5 years ago the infrastructure was appallingly bad, but this is today. If you drive, it'll be today or tomorrow. And if you need to charge, it'll be today or tomorrow or next week, not 5 years ago. We've moved on. Well, let's have a look at number 3, hassle of charging. Again, it's telling you you're going to have hassle, so how important is that for you? Very negative framing. For those who drive a Tesla, they have absolutely zero hassle. The car finds the charger for you. The onboard computer does the rest. The driver literally pulls in, plugs in, walks away. It takes a handful of seconds. There's no need to stand around holding the plug while it charges. No need to pay in any way. It's all automatic. Same applies if you charge at home. Exactly the same. You get home, you park, you plug in, go in the house, do what you do, go to bed. Battery will always be full again by breakfast because it charges while they sleep. Is that hassle? For these drivers, doesn't seem to me to be any hassle at all. It's not like having to drive to a petrol station, park, get out, take out the correct nozzle, stand there while it fills, then replace the nozzle, wander off to the kiosk, queue up, then pay, wander back, then drive all the way home. Which to you seems to offer the most hassle? Well, at public chargers, many now offer a really simple charging experience with no need for apps or contactless bank cards. Plug and charge and auto charge operate exactly that way for all drivers. Pull in, plug in, can't the charger communicate? Charging starts as you wander off to take a toilet break or grab a coffee. For those locations that don't offer either of these, just use your contactless bank card, exactly the same as you can do at a petrol pump. Where's the hassle? Okay, number 4, no space or capability to charge at home. Once again, very negative. It implies if you cannot charge at home, an EV is not suitable. But nobody has a petrol pump at home. They all just set off down to the nearest or cheapest petrol station and fill up whenever they need to. EV owners who cannot charge at home do exactly the same. They all just set off down to the nearest or cheapest public charger, plug in and top up. Now, admittedly, they won't get access to ridiculously cheap overnight off-peak electricity rates that home chargers get. But the price of running an EV on your average public charger is on par with running a petrol car on petrol. Nearly all EV drivers have access, however, to very much cheaper motoring if only they get educated and make a bit of an effort, and they seek out those public EV chargers that offer a very much cheaper price than average. It's really quite easy to find half price, and some offer even greater savings. Education. Do not just go to your nearest and coincidentally dearest public charger just because it's handy. Number 5, this one, longevity of the battery. This shocks me. All EVs, even the cheapest budget models from China, are legally required to offer an 8-year minimum warranty on the battery and drivetrain. That's enough said. Some offer longer, all have a mileage limit, usually around 100,000 miles. The drivetrain, by the way, is the motor and associated bits like inverters and battery heat pump coolers. That represents more than 10 years of normal motoring under warranty. How much more plain speaking can I make it? Very few people keep their cars longer than 8 years. In contrast, if you keep your petrol car 3 years, your warranty runs out. It expires, whatever your mileage. You can keep an EV twice or sometimes 3 times this, and the battery and the drivetrain will still be under manufacturer's warranty, and any of that will be replaced free of charge if it fails. Why is this still an issue? Education once again. The media terrified you into believing that batteries last 2 years. You'll need to be replacing them at twice the price of the original car. It's a scandal this was ever promulgated, and it's a scandal that YouGov have chosen to offer this as an option. Well, at least they didn't state batteries do only last a few years as one of the reasons in this survey. Okay, finishing there, we really do need to get with it, get educated, look at an EV as just another car. It happens to be running on a different fuel, but it offers different, normally much better features and significantly better performance, and often at a very similar price. EVs are not for everyone, but the results of the survey do actually shock me. Do buyers simply not bother to look at what's different, what's on offer, and then decide which is the better car, the better option for them? Now, for those about to leave me a comment about having a go at people, just look at the survey results. The media got there long before I made this video. Seems I'm in the minority. I'm Dave.